Live from Lake Tahoe in my beautiful backyard. This is Paul Romero with the Swiss Gold Global Independent Business Owner Network Marketing Trading number 123 on New Op Day, the April the 13th. Good morning, John. Take this for a second. I'm going to run and go grab the book.
You got it. Well, like Paul said, this is New Op Day, and for those of you who are just joining us, maybe for the first time on these Hangouts, and you're wondering what the heck is a New Op Day, well, every day is a New Op Day. It's a new opportunity to make money, make new connections, make changes in your life, create new habits, and Monday has this connotation to it that it's one of these days that most everybody in the world, or I don't know about the world, but at least the people I encounter here in the United States dread, because it's the start of a week and they got to get back up after a weekend and go back to work. And Paul and I, because we love what we do, every day is a New Op Day, especially the first day that starts the whole new 7-day session. And there's Paul sitting back down, and I'm going to be driving a little bit. I may throw in my 2 cents here or there. I'm on my way actually to a very important appointment, and rather than miss the Hangout completely, I decided to kind of take the show on the road here. And as you know, Mondays is the day we talk about the system, the Own Your Life Plan system by Don Failla that we use here with Swiss Gold Global. And I do want to point out 2 things about this book. Number 1 is you're going to want to read it, understand it, and implement that book. And also, it's very interesting to keep in mind how long ago the book was written. And at that time, finding 5 people to join an organization, and we'll get into a little bit about this today, it could seem very difficult. But with today's tech, you got to remember, this book was written 30 years ago. It's still relevant today, but things are a little bit easier nowadays with the internet and all the tools that are available to us. And when I'm introducing this opportunity to new prospects, but people who've been involved in the past with network marketing, they don't realize how much easier and hands-off it is today because of the internet and all the different tools available. But at the end of the day, it all comes back to basics. And that the book that we discuss each and every Monday is all about the basics of network marketing. No matter what technologies make it easier for us to do, you still want to understand the basics. And that's what this book's all about, and that's why we talk about it every Monday. And I'll toss it back over to Paul here so I can concentrate on the road, and I'll interject a thought here and there throughout. But why don't you go ahead, Paul, and take us right into today's material.
Okay, yeah, that's actually Own Your Life New Op Day. Every New Op Day is Own Your Life Day. So it's actually kind of exactly where this chapter 14 sort of starts out, talking about the difference between a business training session versus a weekly opportunity meeting. Most network marketing organizations that you get involved with all start out, and most people sort of figure this is kind of like the way you do it. They start out by being invited to what's called an opportunity meeting. And generally what these opportunity meetings are is really nothing more than rah-rah sessions. And, I have no objection to a rah-rah session. It's great to have, the energy and keep up the energy and keep people excited and not motivated because, you're the only one that can motivate yourself, but to keep people inspired to motivate themselves. These rah-rah sessions are great, but what happens is people get invited to one of these to get them, sort of excited about the company and all that and get them signed up, and that's how they think that they're supposed to bring people into their organization, is by inviting people to these opportunity meetings. And what happens at these opportunity meetings is that you have, a guy up on stage or in the front of the room or whatever, in a nice suit, this, that, the other thing. He's given this presentation to, let's say, 20 people, and out of the 20 people, you've got, like 17 distributors who are already signed up in the organization, and maybe 3 new people because these distributors have been out there all week. These newer people, they go out there and they like and start inviting people to these opportunity meetings, And they go out and they might invite 3, 4, 5, 6 people, and they'll stop thinking that they've invited enough people to this opportunity meeting, and then when they show up on Saturday, nobody's there because nobody shows up. So you have 17 distributors in the room, and maybe you have one, maybe you have 2 or 3 actual new people from somebody that showed up, and then so the meeting here in and of itself, this opportunity meeting, is designed to be directed at the new people. So now you've got all these distributors there week after week after week with people not showing up and not showing up and not showing up, and this guy presenting the same information over and over and over again until these people just get bored of it and they stop showing up to the opportunity meetings themselves, and then they end up stopping inviting people to the organization, and then they end up dropping out of the MLM altogether because it just ain't working. But when you invite somebody to come out to a business training session, when you get to the business training session, the person who's presenting that day, and maybe it's the same person, maybe it's not, but the person who's presenting that day isn't directing their information towards the new people that somebody brought down to check this out, this opportunity meeting. This is a training session where the person who is directing this meeting is training the actual distributors or the actual sponsors or whatever you want to call them. So the people that you invite over there, this message isn't directed at them. It's directed at the people who are actually in the business and working the business, so it makes sense. And it's new material each time. It's training. It's a training session. So there's new and different material each and every time. Sure, there's going to be repeat stuff, but the fact is these meetings don't get boring. They don't tire somebody out. You don't get, what do they call it, meeting burnout, because it's the same thing over and over again. And the people who are there that you've invited, your prospects that you want to sponsor, they're going to get excited about the business just by seeing how you're being trained and whatnot, and seeing how this training goes, and that's what's going to get them interested in the business, opposed to this big old rah-rah session about how great the company is and how much money you can make and how easy it is and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff. See the actual workings of the training in progress, and they'll see how simple the whole system is at that point in time. That's when they get excited, is all about, wow, this is really simple. So that's a big, huge little difference there that got me really excited this morning when I was rereading this chapter again about the difference between the weekly, business opportunity meeting and the business training session. Any comment, John?
Yes, actually, I'm glad that you let me interject here. A quick comment. I can't stress, I believe that the training meeting is so critically important. Once you've got prospects in, maybe it was the opportunity meeting that interested them. Once you have people that are introduced to the business, a lot of people that are going to be getting involved with network marketing may be getting involved with network marketing for the very first time, and they're looking at you as the sponsor, the person that brought them in, as someone that they trust and are looking up to for support and for training. And I think when an organization lacks leadership that hosts daily hangouts such as this to talk about network marketing, the concepts, and to become personal with the people in their organization. When an organization lacks a training meeting, there's no growth. I think it's so critically important that you have these training meetings, or find out ways to get to these training meetings, not just for the inspiration, but it's going to do more than just those rah-rah sessions, as Paul was saying. Is in this business, what I found, in order to be successful and to help people be successful, it's almost like you need to hold people's hands, and everybody comes into the organization, as we talked about in earlier chapters, as a silver ship, and it's our job to kind of guide and mold them and observe our prospects to see that they become gold ships if they have potential to be gold ships, and then if they become empty ships, then we know we don't need to spend our time with them anymore. but a weekly training to show people the system, to teach people a simple script for picking up the phone and introducing this, simply practicing conversations that one could have with people that they randomly meet or people they already know, and training them what to do, making it the prospect feel that this is something that they can do, and getting people together on a weekly basis to train and do it. I just want to say that is so critically important, that you have an organization that does that. And that's one thing that I feel that for our downline, Paul and I have committed to doing these hangouts, and I'd like to say that we are open and willing to commit to putting together a live training as well, because of how important it actually is. So I just wanted to throw that in there about how important that is, especially when you have new prospects, is to train them and teach them rather than just give them the rah-rah all the time.
No, exactly. And that's exactly what building a network marketing organization is in the very beginning, sort of like what John was just talking about there, holding people's hands. When you're building a network marketing organization the right way, in the very beginning for somebody else, this is almost like a done-for-you kind of a business, because the people that bring you into this business, that sponsor you into this business, they're there basically almost working this business for you. If they're doing it the right way, they're almost working your business for you to help you get started, because they're making sure that, each and everything that you need to do right in the beginning is getting done the way that it needs to get done. And all of a sudden, you start seeing a little bit of growth and some money coming in, and that's what gets you excited to start wanting to learn more and do yourself. And that turns right back into what the next piece of this comparison is the fact that when these new people are at a opportunity meeting, a lot of the times you'll be sitting there, watching these new people, and they'll be looking at the speaker, and they'll be shaking their head yes, and they'll be nodding and smiling, and they'll be, looking all excited, like they want to sign up, like this is the greatest thing they ever heard. And then when it's all over, they turn around and say no. And why is that? They were just sitting there going, yeah, all the way through, and then at the end, when it comes down to sign on the dotted line, they say no. Because basically what happens is these people see these presentations going on for like an hour and a half, selling, hyping up the business and all of this stuff, and they get the feeling that they are going to end up having, this is what they're going to ultimately end up having to do themselves in order to be successful. And that's the biggest fear people have, bigger than death, is standing up in front of a room and talking to people. So, this is why they say no, is because this is what the impression is that they think that that they're going to end up having to do if they're going to want to be successful in this business, and they just don't see themselves ever being able to do that. And so the one thing that's key to be important to remember here too, with this or with anything else, anybody that says no to you, is always remember that the person saying no is not saying no to you. They're saying no to the opportunity. So you just have to make that separation and just be like, hey, if you don't think this opportunity is for you, then great. I thought it might be something you're interested in. I appreciate you taking the time to have a look at it. I respect your decision. Have a great life. See you later. Bye. On to the next person. You know what I mean? It has no effect on you. They're not saying no to you. They're not saying I don't like you anymore. We can't hang out anymore. I'm not going to go drink a beer with you anymore. We're not bringing our family to your barbecues anymore. None of that's happening, okay? They're just saying no to the opportunity. So don't take any of it personally. That's one key thing to remember. John, I know you're smiling. You got something to say to that.
No, it's just funny because of how true that is. And this is the biggest thing about being new into network marketing, and you're gonna be stepping out of your comfort zone, is this fear of just bringing it up to people, and it's really just the fear of rejection. And it's funny, and I was laughing a little bit to myself and smiling there, because I actually am guilty of some of those kind of thoughts. And sometimes the truth is what's funny, because how silly it seems to me now that I actually, hearing Paul say, worrying about being invited to barbecues. Like, I really thought I might offend some family members and friends if they didn't like the opportunity, you know? And that's just ridiculous. And that's why I laugh. But you know what? It's very real fear. And when you're feeling that way, it's not ridiculous. So I'm not kind of giggling to minimize that that's the fear you have. But, you know, bottom line, at the end of the day, it's up to you, and you should make the conscious decision to get over it. I do want to point out one other thing here, because Paul was talking about, you know, the opportunity meeting, you know, getting kind of strung out or overdone on those opportunity meetings, and how actually when you have an opportunity meeting, and I agree with Paul 100%, for a lot of people, you're nodding their head, they're into it, they're like, yeah, I like what this guy's saying, and then they don't sign up because they're looking at the opportunity, they're looking at the presenter going, I can never get up and do that, and they think that that's something that they're going to have to do to be successful. But that's where we come in as the distributors or the prospectors or whatever you want to call someone like Paul and I, your spotlight sponsor. We may not be the guys doing the presentation at that particular meeting. You want to immediately make your prospects and the people that you bring down relate to the upline. Show them that we're just regular people, and you don't have to be a public speaker and get up in front of a room full of people to be successful in this business at all. It's actually, you know, the exact opposite. You could keep it simple and on a one-to-one basis. So you want to make sure that you're getting that message across to your prospects that this is not what they're going to have to do is get up and speak, and that this is a simple system that anyone can do it, and get them immediately involved and getting a conversation in with your upline so they can see that we're just regular guys. We started off just like them, and they're not going to have to do anything ultra super out of their comfort zone initially. And you know what happens? Most people that get involved with network marketing, when they begin seeing success and they begin seeing that money, they'll laugh at themselves just like I was about their fears in the beginning. Once they start seeing success and gaining that confidence, it's almost like life-changing, and your old fears almost seem ridiculous to you, and you'll actually start to crave and want to be the guy up in front of the room. Because you know why? Because that's the guy who's making all the money. So
you know, and it goes on next to start talking about just what, you know, how the business meeting is different and how it's sort of structured, the business training session, and how it's sort of structured differently. But I'm going to fall back because I want to make one more comparison to an opportunity meeting versus a training session, a business training session, and that is the fact that, like John was saying, you know, the people that go to these opportunity meetings, they see the fact that, you know, oh, I'm going to have to go up there and do this, and I'm going to have to do that, and I'm going to have to do all these things. And one of the major key differences is within this network marketing organization that's being done the right way, the first thing that you're impressing upon your prospects is the fact that they don't have to do this and they don't have to do that. That yes, they are relying upon us. We're going to do that for them. Again, sort of like the done for you part of the business in the beginning to get them going, get something happening for them so that they don't have to, you know, worry about overcoming these fears. We minimize their piece of the puzzle to the smallest ones, you know, the very smallest one little minuscule initial step, and that's just getting people in front of us, you know, in opening your mouth and talking about what you're involved in and getting other people excited to want to hear more. That's it. We do all the presentations. Everybody above you does all the presentations. You don't have to worry about that. And the other part of the fact of the opportunity meeting is those organizations, when those sponsors get in there, they actually do end up getting left alone, because they don't get sponsored into the organization, they get recruited. Okay, there's a big difference between sponsoring and recruiting. And when they're recruited into the organization, it's kind of like, okay, sign here, here's your stuff, good luck, see you later, bye, see you at the next opportunity meeting, right? Go invite some people. That's the wrong way to go about it. When the network marketing business is done right and you're sponsoring somebody into the business, it's like, all right, sign here. All right, this is what we're going to do. How are we going to do this? Let's you and I get started on this. You When you sponsor somebody, you're going to work for that person. When you recruit somebody, you're just like, hey, sign up, congratulations, welcome, good luck. You know what I mean? There's a huge, huge difference there. And that's why a network marketing organization built the right way is so successful, because each person is actually helping the people that they bring in to get their business started. As I said, almost in a done-for-you fashion in the beginning, which eventually grows into, hey, I can do this, I want to do this, it's easy, blah, 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 and exploding the thing. So with that, I'm going to let John throw in a final word and knock us out of here with the prayer. See if he can,
that's perfect
see if he can pray and
right
drive. See if he can drive and pray at the same time.
Yeah, I just pulled off to the side to wrap this up. My final thought is, I think this is a very important hangout that we had here today to make these distinctions about the differences between the training and the opportunity meetings. You want to incorporate both into your system. I want to stress the importance of the training sessions. There's a multitude of reasons why. I kind of touched upon some of those in the beginning. I would suggest to everybody to continue reading through the Own Your Life Plan book, because that is ultimately the basics, the core of the system. Join us Wednesday, where we go through the product and the website. Again, on Fridays, it's kind of our Freedom Facebook Friday, where we're actually going to be talking for the next couple weeks about how to use Facebook, which is something that is new and that has been invented since the advent of the Own Your Life Plan book. But you want to incorporate the basics into the new world that we live in. And unless Paul has anything he wants to throw in there, I'm going to say, oh, universe, I ask not for more riches, but for wisdom with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, through the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever ends I may desire. So let's make this an awesome new op week, and I can't wait to see everybody back here on Wednesday.